So I told him, you do all the work, I'll come up with all the marketing, I'll make the contacts, I'll tell you what I want, hire the copywriter. James Scott did an excellent job on the letter. I'll show you guys the letter later. Fantastic job. We're getting a 53% conversion on the opt-in and over 4% of the general traffic to the sales page. You have to remember, these guys aren't Jeff Johnson's buddies saying, you got to buy the product. These are people who've never heard of me saying, buy the product. And his letter is converting over 4% for us, and that's without tweaking it. So thank you very much. But you find somebody you want to partner up with, and you say, okay, here's my strength. I can build the site, but I can't write copy. Or I can produce the product, but I can't make the videos. I needed a partner. I said, you know what, I've had this idea. I think there's something I'd like to do, but I don't have time to do it. And he said, well, great. I have all the time. And he doesn't. He has a day job and is a pregnant wife with the first child, so he doesn't have a lot of time, but he could make the products. And I said, okay, you'll make the product. I'll mastermind it. We'll split the profit 50-50. So anyone can do that. And don't be greedy. I mean, you could actually pay someone to do it. I could have just paid him a few $1,000s and been done with it. But he has more motivation to get the job done if I'm splitting profits. If he's a partner in the job, he's going to have motivation to do everything that he can to make it successful. So you can either pay him 50-50. That really motivates people if you give him a lot of ownership in the product. In fact, I did more than 50-50. I let him keep the first 10K, so it was a little crazy. But told him to write a course about something he knew nothing about. It was his first info product. He knew nothing about the market that we were entering into. So what did I do? Coaching Club, I gave you guys a course called Info Millions. It's about how to create a product. It's a very good book. It's in the club. If you don't have it, if you're in TKP and you don't have it, I'll give it to you. I paid money for it. I said, take the Info Millions course. It's about writing info products. It's available to you guys for free. It's in the club. If you don't have it, let me know if you don't have access to it. He literally took that course and wrote this product just using that course. And it's basically the same stuff they teach you in high school. Take a bunch of 3x5 cards, do some research, buy a bunch of books, put it together. So he knew nothing about the product, and he'd never written an info product before. But really, an info product, all it is a text document, right? That's all it is. I think we all know how to put together an info product. I think we can convert it to a PDF. I think we know that. But sometimes identifying the market's the problem, so we're going to talk about that later too. But he'd never put an info product together before. He knew nothing about the market that we're in, but he still made it work. I didn't use my name to sell it, but he hired a guy to put together graphics, and the graphics guy put my name on all the graphics, so we just left it there. But I never said I'm Jeff Johnson, the SEO guy, or anything. I just mailed people up, called them, and that was it. And very few of them knew who I was. So I didn't use my name to sell the product. I used the very same tools and techniques that anyone can use, and I mean anyone can use it. It's the same stuff we've all been taught for years about Internet Marketing 101. It literally is Internet Marketing 101, and we're going to go into deep detail about it. But the whole reason I did this is I didn't want to use any of my special tricks or any of the product launch stuff. If you guys do that, you'll make a lot more money. But when I show you what we made, you're going to be pretty happy that we did a pretty good job. But I wanted to design this whole thing so anyone can do it. So we didn't have a list. I started building a list. My server got destroyed. The backup server copy got destroyed. So I had nothing. And so I literally had 0 lists to start with. And that's fine because I didn't want to use a list. So we entered into a completely new market. A market that didn't know anything about me, anything about my coaching club. They didn't know who I was. I wasn't known in that marketplace. We just picked a market. We picked the market because we thought we could make money in it, and that's it. So they didn't know who I was. Chose one of the most competitive markets we could find. Literally, it is one of the most competitive markets that I could find, and that's what I wanted to do because that's what I teach. And then we didn't have any JV partners lined up. We didn't spend a dime on pay-per-click. We still haven't spent a dime on pay-per-click traffic. We still haven't built any feeder sites. We still haven't submitted the site to any of the directories. We still haven't done any press releases. Nothing I teach you guys to do have we done. We didn't have existing traffic at all. We still don't. We didn't build feeder sites. We didn't submit articles. We didn't use press releases. We didn't post to forums. We didn't post to blogs. We didn't do a product launch. Jeff Walker is going to teach you how to do that later. In fact, he's going to teach you to do it very well. But in the first 16 days, I want to say 2 weeks, but technically it was 16 days. We started in the middle of the month. From the first day that we started, we didn't have a list. We didn't have JB partners. It wasn't until we went live that I went out to get the first partner. So from the day we went live to the end of that month was 16 days. We did $33,567 in sales. Our gross sales from June 15th to June 30th. That's when we launched it. We netted $15,799. So we netted $15,799 in the first 2 weeks, and we didn't work much. Like I said, we didn't do any of the stuff you're supposed to do. That's pretty good for the first 2 weeks in a market that we knew nothing about, nor do we have a product. We went to the top of ClickBank. I've talked to you guys before about how to get to the top of the ClickBank, and I've talked about how important it is to get to the top of the categories that you're trying to target for your markets. Why? James, you're a super affiliate. Why do we want to get to the top of ClickBank or CJ?
Because that's why they look. The super affiliates look for top products.
Right. In fact, you know what? Let's get a mic on James. He's very important. He does this to a large extent. He markets other people's products through pay-per-click. Now, James Scott, the guy who wrote the copy for the sales letter, why do I want to be at the top of ClickBank or CJ.com?
Because when I'm searching into CJ or ClickBank, I always start with the top products. Because if it's converting the best, I want to go into that marketplace and I want to go promote that product. Because that's the one that's going to give me the most money. I figure I want everyone else to test it out first and see if it's working or not. And then I want to piggy bank on that. I don't want to have to discover a market. I just want to piggy bank on what's already successful.
Exactly. So when he goes to look for something to promote as an affiliate, he doesn't bother going to page 5, 6, and 7. He goes to the first page. That's what all super affiliates do. You want to be on the front page.
Yeah, you figure that you can beat out the other affiliates,
right,
you know, through either your copy or whatever. You figure that you can beat out the other affiliates. So you would just want to go, whatever's the best selling product, you want to promote that one.
Exactly. So thank you, James Scott. That's why we need to be at the top. I've told you before, you want to be at the top. There's software products that are out there that when we're looking for something new, when I say we, I mean all of us. When we're looking for a new product to promote, we've got certain pieces of software that we'll cover later. And that software is triggered by the movers and shakers, and it's triggered by the top performers in each category. So you want to make sure that you show up on the radar for all the people who are searching for products in your market to sell. So it's very important that we showed to the top of ClickBank. I've talked about this before, just as a review. You want to get to the top of ClickBank? You have as many different people sell the product as possible. And if you don't have a lot of other people selling the product for you, you set up multiple different ClickBank IDs for yourself and promote it that way. So if you're running pay-per-click campaigns, use one of your ClickBank IDs for one of the pay-per-click campaigns. If you have a separate company, that's even better. Then take your next company and set up another pay-per-click campaign using a different ClickBank ID. We actually used one company and set up 5 different ClickBank IDs for tracking purposes for some of the mailings that we're doing through partners we wanted to know. I have 5 or 6 different corporations. They all have their own ClickBank IDs, and actually some of them have multiple ClickBank IDs. What we know is, they say in the ClickBank's blog, it says, if you look at the numbers for how they calculate rankings, one of the calculations has to do with how many different distinct affiliates are promoting the product for you. It's a very big measure of part of their gravity, I believe, is how they calculate gravity. I think that's a measure in there. So I don't know for certain whether distinct means separate tax IDs. But my buddies and I have always set up our own, under our same corporation, we set up 5 or 10 different ClickBank IDs. All that happens is you get 5 or 10 different ClickBank checks every 2 weeks. That's it. It still all goes into the same tax ID number. We don't know if that's distinctly different from their standpoint, but Jim Edwards and everyone else that does it also says that helps them get to the top of the ClickBank. So it's as many different distinct affiliates as you can promoting your product, but it seems to work that if you set up your own ClickBank IDs, multiple different ClickBank IDs, that still helps take you to the top of ClickBank categories. There's no charge for it, and if you're selling a product and you're paying your affiliates 55%, the net to you is still the same, because ClickBank takes the $1 plus the percentage, 7% off the top. And then they pay your affiliate 55% and you 45%. Well, if you're your own affiliate, your net result is the same amount of money coming to you. The only problem is your assistant's got more checks to put in the bank. That's it. Because they send you a different check for every ID that you use. They actually overnight checks to you too. I don't think a lot of people realize ClickBank will overnight you a check if it's large enough. So you get a lot of overnights. So that's it. But we rocketed. So programs like CB Engine and CB Manager, and there's one other one, Mayan put out. Does anyone know the name of the product that Mayan put out? It's an affiliate product that goes to ClickBank.